The time has come to conquer our last remaining frontiers and lead the resistance to victory on all fronts.
Shift gears away from the battlefields of World War One. You're looking at me like that because I know I can't stick this one to the creepy houses of America. I don't know.
New Orleans.
Is it New Orleans?
Yeah. People looked at like the flashes of GPS coordinates.
And they're like, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I can smell Creole.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
7 that way for you guys, I think.
Biohazard.
That's
good.
Biohazard, yeah. Resident Evil 7 : Biohazard.
Did you see the reveal, the Japanese reveal? Because there's the
Is it
initial
called
joke.
Biohazard Resident Evil 7?
It is, but in order to incorporate the 7, they put it in the Z.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It works either way.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know which one they
genius.
started with. They either did the North American one, like, all right, we got it. And then they
Yeah.
got the Japanese one, like, shit. It's like, what if it was the other way around?
It's like whoever made the logo for Evolve was just like, we got it.
Is it the claw?
It's the one where it's the 5v1
Right.
in the name. It's
I did not know about that until right
beautiful.
now. What?
It's real good.
That's
It's
good.
really good. Let's talk about it. I played the demo after E3. Like last week, I was home for one day and I booted it up and played it. You played it as well?
Yep.
Have you played it at all?
I have not. I'd like to hear
cool.
about it.
Are you a Resident Evil fan?
Not really, actually.
Okay. Did you play PT?
I did.
Okay.
Loved it.
That's interesting because that's kind of like the other
The drive of it, yeah.
angle this is kind
That's
of
what I
coming
heard.
from. It's kind of weird Silent Hill 4 The Room kind of thing going on as well. a little
Yeah.
bit. What did you think, Mike, first of all?
I liked it. I came away from it pretty positive. There are a few problems with it, but for the purpose of a demo that won't actually be part of the main game, much like PT was, I think that's another parallel. I'm excited for it. As a Resident Evil is one of my favorite series alongside like Zelda. It's one of the ones I haven't been happy with it in a long time, but I'm really excited for hopefully this kind of return to form, even though it's very different. It's first person Resident Evil, which is new.
Yeah, so that's one of a couple of differences we have here, right? So the first one is we don't know what like theme it's going to be. We've there's a very sort of spooky B movie / poltergeisty feel to this thing, but they've since come out and said that it's not going to have the sort of the ghost like elements. There's a quote here from Capcom. I think you can look at the trailer of the demo and get that impression, but don't worry, we haven't just thrown out Resident Evil as it exists and turned it into a ghost story. It will all make sense in the end. That quote coming out of Koshi Nakinishi. I don't know. I should have looked that up before we started the show. From Capcom Unity, from their internal communications blog there. I know it's frustrating holding back on what we can show fans, but this is really the best way to let you enjoy the game to the fullest when it comes out. We just have a trailer and a demo at the moment, but watch this space in the coming months, and we hope you look forward to the game. We're going to do our best to make it the best game we can.
So what's the premise of this demo again? I think I heard like it's, you waltz into this room and kind of unravel. It seems like Outlast a little bit with like picking up tapes and stuff.
There's a kind of a found footage element to it where you are playing almost like two different time periods within the same house.
Yeah.
And you essentially you wake up in this place and start exploring the house, and it's a pretty short sort of puzzle to try and get out of the house. And then there's a part where it cuts to previously on where
you put in the
part of
videotape right there.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And then you go back to the cameraman. It's like this news crew. It's like this C-tier anchor who does like these haunted house exploration
Yeah,
things.
exactly. So it's kind of like 1408 John Cusack kind of breaking into this place and trying to show off, find all the poltergeists in there, and then it all goes awry. So you play it from like either two different perspectives or from the same perspective, two different time zones or whatever. But it's similar to PT in that there is a bunch of like weird little, I don't know, like different ways to get around it, but didn't seem like there was that much in terms of that. Like it seemed like I don't think anyone's figured out the reason for the dummy finger yet.
Right. There
pick
are
up?
two definite endings. One's upstairs, one's the back door.
Right. Oh, I didn't get the upstairs one then.
I did the back door first as well, and then if you
Always
go
did the back
upstairs,
door
you can get
first.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the dummy finger. People think there might be another ending they haven't found, but the dummy finger is like you find it like almost immediately on this like dresser in the hallway.
Right.
People thought maybe you smudged the TV screen or something with it, but it might just be like the axe is there for no reason. That's just they put that in there. According to someone that at Capcom told me, they put that in there just to show there will be combat. They did a Capcom Unity post after being like, "There's gonna be combat in this game. there's herbs, so there's survival elements.
Okay.
It's not just this exploration. This was meant to like set the tone and show that they're kind of going back to horror roots as opposed to like 6's all out quick time event action, which there's no quick time events in this at all.
Yeah, I mean, even 5 you could say was a straight up action game.
I mean, 4 was the turning point.
Yes.
Even to look back at like 3 Nemesis compared to 1 and 2, 3 was the same style. It was those pre-rendered backgrounds, third person tank controls. But you still, with the Nemesis chasing you the whole time, you had a little more ammo. It was a little more of an action horror game. 4, of course, like for good reason, that was an awesome game.
Like even 2 to a certain extent did have the sort of ammunition scarcity stuff of Resident Evil 1, but it was like the sort of Tomb Raider 2 to Tomb Raider 1 where there was a lot more combat in it than there was in the first game.
Yeah.
So I guess like the main question I want to ask you is just looking at this and sort of projecting maybe towards Resident Evil 7 is, were you scared playing this?
I don't think I was. So I played Outlast 2 again at E3, which I'm really excited for that game. That scared me. Mary and I played it for the first time at PAX East, and it was the same demo both times, but that game actually is nailing that tone. But again, it's tough to say because the Outlast 2 demo we played is part of the game, whereas this isn't. So from this, there's a couple parts here that I was pretty freaked out, but it was nothing huge. Like it wasn't PT levels, but PT's, I mean, like PT is a whole like psychological kind of trauma thing, like familial disintegration that Resident Evil 7 sort of seems to be touching on. The only tie to Resident Evil that you see in the whole game, if you have the upstairs ending, you see a picture with a helicopter with the Umbrella
You're kidding.
Corporation logo on it. So they say like, are they watching us or something? Because right now we don't know. This is a new character. It's Clancy Jarvis, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
Yeah, which isn't as bad as Deacon St. John from Days Gone, but it's still a weird name.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a similar thing where Outlast 1, I've not played any of Outlast 2. I played Outlast 1 and that's a scary game.
Yeah.
The Amnesia games terrified the crap out of me. And PT got to me as well. And this was getting there. It was like where those games like hit the 9s. Like this got to about 7 and like was threatening 8, but I never really sort of got into that. Like there was certain parts that like made me literally like close up and shiver. Like very sort of specific moments, but there was never like the sort of overall feeling of dread and fear, and like I didn't have. And I played it at nighttime in a dark room.
Oh yeah, I played in the middle of the office before we talked about it on Dead Air to plug.
Yeah, absolutely, plug away.
Yeah. Dead Air, the horror podcast. We spoke about it. We have someone coming on this week from Capcom to talk about like the process leading up to the reveal, because the secrecy behind it was crazy. But that's another conversation. But I don't know, like for similarities with PT. I get the comparison. They're both demos. They're not part of the main game. They're both for that first person kind of like the Outlast feel. Because Outlast 2, like it was underrated at E3. I think that Mary can attest to. I think she liked the demo. Maybe not as much as I did. But, like Resident Evil, the puzzles in this game, because there's still puzzles in that you're going to one part of the house and you're finding like this key that's going to open this, which you're going to find a VHS tape, which you play, which you go back in time and find a trapdoor in the past that you come back to the present and you're like, oh shit, this will work. The puzzles here are a little more doable than PTs. PTs are really obscure and like tough. Like weren't you one of the people that played it for like 12 hours straight?
Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah, like midnight, and we said can't do it. Sorry, and then I don't even know if we ever figured out what or how to beat it.
You have to like start speaking into the controller.
You have to start speaking into it or something like that. But my question is like, was it not scary because there wasn't a threat in this Resident Evil demo? Was there not someone chasing you? I feel like all these games have an underlining like you can die based on how well you can hide, how well you can avoid the threat in the house. Is there never? I thought I saw jump scares in the demo trailer.
Yeah, there was
it's the ending of the trailer when you finally see what's in the house.
So I feel like that's why, right? Like you're scared by the atmosphere, but if there's no looming dude with a knife or something like that.
I wonder, like, I bet that all goes out the window if you play it in virtual reality. I bet it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Well,
I bet it's like,
if they did it right, from what I heard, they didn't do it that well.
Oh, really? Have you? Did any of you guys play it?
Yeah,
I didn't. I think Scott did. I just remember someone saying that when you crouch in the VR demo, it doesn't show the transition. You just snap to a crouch position. So people are like, oh my God, I'm throwing, like getting nauseous. But that's also like remains to be seen how that'll work. Yeah, I don't know.
That's going to make a good GIF. All right. Anything else I have to talk about in relation to Resident Evil?
I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong. January 24th.
On PlayStation 4. It is actually coming out on Xbox One and Windows as well. I thought it was a PS4 exclusive for the longest time. PlayStation VR though, you can play it start to finish.
But Capcom has another timed exclusive with Xbox One, Dead Rising 4, which they
do.
also announced at the show.
That's true. Yeah,
Strategic of them.
different take
I
on
think, I don't know.
the zombie thing.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see how connected it is to Resi 7. Part of me wonders if they spend all this time making this demo and it being Capcom in their current like form in 2016 already, like this looks ripe for slipping. Like January 24th for a game we've seen nothing of, and we still don't really know what the full game looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know, but fingers crossed. We'll see some more of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Let us know in the comments if you're excited for this. And we'll have more coverage of that on GameSpot.com over the coming months, provided Capcom starts making that game and releasing things about it.